Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking about setting a relationship vision and why I believe it is so incredibly important. And particularly in this time, as we enter the new year, many of us are setting visions for the year ahead. We might have different visions related to our career, related to family, to finances. And one area that I really like to pay attention to is my relationship vision. So, what is a relationship vision? Very simply put, a relationship vision is a common vision that both you and your partner hold that brings more purpose, direction, and intentionality to your union. So, the way I like to think of it is the bigger why of the relationship. Why are you in this relationship together? What is it that you're co creating? What are your values? What type of relationship do you want to create? How do you want it to look like in the day to day? And really becoming more and more intentional about that. So many of us go into relationships without really asking ourselves, why are we in this relationship? And then when challenges come up, when there's difficulties or disagreements, it can create a lot of tension and can even lead us to break up or to divorce because there's not that clarity as to why are we doing this? What is this bigger vision that's holding us together even when things aren't running smoothly or even when difficulties are coming up? And the reason that I find this so incredibly important is that just like anything else in our life, when we bring more awareness and consciousness into our relationships, they deepen and they become more profound. And especially in relationships, we are bound to come across challenges or disagreements. And I found that many people kind of get into relationships without ever really asking themselves, why am I in this relationship? What is the bigger why that brings us together? What are we co creating as a union? And when we do bring intentionality into that and actually take the time to speak about this relationship vision with our partner, it's a great anchor that can guide us, kind of an anchor and a compass that can guide us through difficult times. So when disagreements come up, when challenges come up, there's this common vision that you're both working towards. And I find it really helpful in taking it out of this me against them, where in a relationship sometimes we get in friction and it feels like our partner is an enemy. But instead, when friction comes up or when there's challenges, it's us working towards this bigger vision. So instead of fighting with each other, there's something bigger that's holding both of us and that we're using as a compass. And another reason I find it so important is that it helps us stay on track. So often I've heard people say, in the beginning of the relationship, everything was great. And I had all these ideas of what our future was going to look like. And then 2, 3, 5 years down the line, when I looked at the relationship, it just wasn't the relationship I wanted. It wasn't the relationship that I had envisioned. And oftentimes that leads people to break up or to divorce. So by actually consciously talking with your partner about what is your shared relationship vision, it helps you stay on track. Because if you're going through a certain stage in your life where you're getting further and further away from that vision, you can bring it up and you can use that as an anchor to guide you again in the direction that you want to go and become much more intentionally about co-creating this vision. Relationships don't just happen by themselves, and oftentimes because of Disney and Hollywood and romance novels, there's this idea that once we fall in love, that's all we need, and then the rest will just magically figure itself out, and we're gonna have this fairy tale ending. But the truth is that relationships are created by two people coming together intentionally, and you want to make sure that you're co-creating the relationship of your dreams and that you're not just letting time go by and patterns take over and end up in a situation where both of you are unhappy. Now, how do you actually set a relationship vision? You can do it at any time, but right now, as we're entering this new year, it's a beautiful, fertile ground to do it because collectively the energy is very much supporting setting new visions, new ideas, new dreams, new intentions. And I also want to add that you can do this both if you're single or in a relationship. So if you're single, you can set a relationship vision for your future relationship, the type of partner you would like to call in, the type of relationship you would like to have together. What is the bigger why of your union? Getting clarity on that is actually great to become a match for that. When we have clarity as to what it is we desire to call in, we become energetic matches for that type of relationship and that type of partner to come into our lives. So it's not only for people in a relationship. You can do it if you're single, or if you're in a relationship, I suggest doing it together because ultimately you want to have a shared vision. sometimes what happens in relationships is that both people have a strong vision for the relationship, but they might be different. Maybe one person, the vision is really about co-creating a family, and for the other person, the vision was something completely different. So if you're in a relationship, ideally you want to come together and come with a shared vision together. So I suggest creating a sacred space, creating a nice ambiance, playing some music, lighting some candles, and having a big piece of paper out in front of you. I recommend writing it down from pen to paper because there's something really powerful that happens when we actually take the time to write it down versus just typing it on our computer or on our phones. And then once you're ready and you have the paper in front of you, start writing down why you are in a relationship with each other, what values guide your union and your relationship, and what qualities you would like to maintain or build with time. And here you can start more vague, like big picture, but then also break it down as to what that looks like in the day to day. How do you want to navigate disagreements or conflict? What qualities you want to cultivate in your day to day interaction? So, also bringing it down into the very practical qualities of the relationship and the way that you interact with each other on a day to day basis. And here I suggest just free flowing and both of you just saying out loud whatever comes up and just writing it all down. And then when you're done, just looking over it and circling the ones that really stand out for you, the ones that really feel like a core aspect of your relationship vision, and then rewrite those on a new piece of paper as your relationship vision. And it's something that I suggest you revisit once a year at least, because sometimes as we grow and we mature and we evolve, there might be the need to make little tweaks, or little things might become more important to us that weren't so important a year ago. And we want to check in at least once a year with our partner just to make sure that we have the same vision and that we're consciously co-creating it. And another thing I love to do is at the end of the year, I like to look at the relationship vision and also see how far we've come and if we've really tapped into that, or which places in our life are out of alignment and where we need to make shifts to be more in alignment with our bigger vision. So it's a really, really beautiful tool to stay in alignment, stay on track, and keep on deepening in love with your partner. And as I said, if you're single, exact same thing, but just do it for yourself. What is your vision? And having that clarity also helps you in the dating process. If you're dating someone and based on what they're sharing, they have a completely different vision of relationships than you do, you have that clarity and you know that they're probably not the match for you, and vice versa. When someone comes in and they have similar values and a similar vision and you have that inner clarity, you have that clarity to know that they might be a really, really good match for you. So have fun creating your relationship vision, either alone or with your partner. I hope that this will bring more love and more depth and more intentionality into your love life in 2022. And that is it for today's video. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really supports me as a creator to keep on making these free videos for you. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.